Good evening and welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. How's everybody doing this fine Tuesday evening? We have absolute beautiful weather in Chillicothe, in Ohio. Of course, as soon as I start, my furnace kicks on. No reason for that to be running right now. So, how's everybody doing? Doing well? Looks like the chat is nice and busy. Already 82 comments. Hey, Chris. Welcome to Fingers. Jeff G. HSF. NorCal. Slot Car. Hey, Jim. Jim, I sent a package to you today. So I think you probably should get it by Friday. So just so you know that it's on its way. Who else? Shotgun. Welcome, Shotgun Dave. Good to have you, man. I am still recovering, but the voice is much better this week than last. So, who else do we have? Jeff G. Mark, Slot Journal is in the house. Good to have everyone tonight. George, good evening. George, got some things George sent me over here. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Some good stuff. Hanola Photography, visiting friends in that area before going to Vegas. Very good. Thanks for joining tonight. Good to have you. John Tucci. See Chris Freighter is in the house. Slightly Mad Slot Cars, Fox and Wolves. John Tucci. Guys, thanks for tuning in. It's always good to have everyone in here. Lots of conversation before. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Gary. Daniel. What's up, Daniel? David is in the house. Mike, good evening. Audio Enthusiast Network. Mentioned last week you got to run on an oval. So nice we had to build one. Steve Sweeney. Welcome, Steve. Guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. If I miss somebody, I apologize. If I see in there, I'll give you a shout if I can. Hey, Steven. What's up? Good friends and margaritas. And Steve sent a picture earlier. He was on his track. So he is getting some practice in. So well done. Well done. Hey, Harry. It's late for Harry. Yeah, man, I am feeling much better. My coughing is at a minimum. But I'm still a little hoarse, but hence why I'm loading up before I talk for the next 90 minutes. Mr. Albright, good evening. John Mark Hall. John Mark, I've got something for you over here on the table. Steve Sweet. I'm sorry, Steve. I will from this moment forth, I will call you the ambassador. That's good. Hey, Bo. Hello in Germany. Steve is still waiting on his Lolas. Oh, my gosh, Steve. Something obviously happened. What happened to your Lolas is what happened to Dusty and I's cars and a bunch of other people's cars for the Home Racing World Proxy. Edward Gomez, good evening. Yeah, man, it's good to be here. RTDL, good evening. Paul, good evening, Paul. Paul, the little Stingray vet, screams around the track, man. I was running a few laps the other night. I got to fix the timer. I've got one sensor that's not reading for some reason, and I need to take it apart and take a look at it. So it's my outside lane. I have not been able to do any of the fast lap challenges, but those guys, you've sent me cars. I'll try to get to those this week. get that fixed this week and get them recorded this weekend and get those back out to you so you can get your cars back. But I have been having fun running laps with them. Just haven't been able to time them. So, yeah, we can talk a little bit about the Lola, the NSR Lola. I got mine last week on Tuesday, and we talked about it a little bit when we were talking to George and Dave. I did get a chance to do a little bit of tuning. I can walk through what I did to my car and then what I'm seeing on the track. So it probably should be a regular video, but we can talk about it here in the live stream. I think enough people have them that there's some good stuff. Drink roast coffee. That's right. In my official Spirit of America coffee mug, guys, don't forget that raffle is still going on. And you can see pictures of all the cars on the Home Racing World. There's a link out there, and man, we got some great cars in that raffle. So if that's something you're interested in, $10 gets you a ticket, and you have a chance at winning some really nice cars. Yeah, I need to get a few raffle tickets in. So I haven't checked in a couple days, but I think they're doing pretty well with the raffle. But I think your odds are still really good. So yeah, don't forget about that. I probably have the. Do I have it? Yeah, I do. There's the scan to donate. You can take a quick picture of that. I'll leave that up for a minute. But these guys, I know they've been working hard, starting to prepare cars. They got their cars this past week. And shout out to Greg, who's doing a bunch of painting. And the rest of the guys are starting to tune some chassis and flatten chassis. And I know Dickie was working on some flattening some chassis just to make sure. But guys, with some laps in and a little bit of tuning on my Lola, without breaking in the motor or anything like that, it's right there with my 908. It runs really, really good. I think it's going to be a winner for sure. It's really smooth. It's really connected to the track. John Albright and I were talking about. He says it just snaps back in line and pulls those rear tires right behind the guide and goes. And I noticed that on mine. I've moved the weight around a little bit, trying to figure out exactly where it works best on the Carrera track. Right now, I've got about 4 grams in that front spot in the pod, and it's working really good there. But I want to run, a few hundred laps there, and then maybe move it to the middle and see how it runs, and see if I can see any time, any difference there. So we'll see. But those are my early thoughts on the Lola. I think it looks great. There are some people out there that are, as we like to say, rivet counting, but I really think that it's, I just really think it's a great car. I think the chassis is got a lot of tech in it, and I think it's very highly adjustable. I think it's lightweight. It's just all the things you want in a great slot car, a high performance slot car. And I'm running the stock motor, and I don't see a need to throw a different motor in it. I mean, I could probably put a 22.5 ball bearing motor in and get a couple tenths out of it, but that motor is not legal for the Nationals. I'm not sure that this is the car I'll take to the Nationals. This is really a test car for me, but yeah, it's a good car, man. It really is a good car. I think those of you who have it are finding that out already. Those of you who have not ordered one, it's not if, but when, probably. If you're wanting to run an NSR in that classics class, that vintage class, I will say I'm still kind of a Thunder slot guy. I love my Thunder Slots. They're just a joy to drive. But this Lola is the first car outside of Thunder Slot that I pulled it out of the box and threw it on the track, and it was already close. That's the first NSR car that I didn't feel like I had to do a bit of tuning to get it where it needs to be. So I think that NSR made a jump when it came to this car, like out-of-the-box performance. And that's just my opinion. There might be people who said, oh, it was awful out of the box. I've not really heard that, but I am not seeing that. And Jim Rose put out a great video. John posted in the home racing world on Facebook about his tuning and his thoughts on the Lola and some video of him running on his track. And that car's hooked up, man. It's really, really good. So I do not think anybody will be disappointed in that car. You might be able to complain that the driver might look a little small compared to the real life, and there's always going to be people who say that it's not perfect. Well, I haven't seen a slot car yet that's perfect, but man, this thing out of the box was really, really good. So give me your thoughts in the comments if you've had a chance to run some laps with your Lola. If you're enjoying it, what your thoughts are. Yes, Jim, the Jags, they're on their way. Sorry it took a minute. I would have shipped them out last weekend, but Marco was they're having problems with the email system, so he didn't send me the until Kristen sent it to me last night. So I dropped it off in the mail first thing this morning. So, hey, Bryce, good to have you. Hey, Kerry Weiss. Kerry is a fan. He's posted, I think he's got 3 of the Lolas. So, really good. Hey, Eric. Yeah, man, multitask. That's what I do a lot of times when I'm listening to other live streams. Is I'm down here working on cars. So good to have you. Hey, Ron, thanks for joining. Joseph, got to race with Joseph a couple weeks ago. He and Bob, and Daniel and Ben and Mike and a bunch of the guys up at the cave. Still really. Just look back on that weekend. That was a fun day. It's always fun to go check out a new track. Sometimes my schedule doesn't allow for me to get out there. Saturdays are usually pretty busy, but that was a good time. So I appreciate the invite. But we had a good time that day. Let's see here. Daniel asked Jim, are you running the same size tire on the Lola as your C8? And Jim says yes. We were talking about that in a text group today. Those new NSR tires, the NSR released a video today, and Andrea was talking about the new NSR tires, and they look like they're going to be pretty good. Hey, B2. Hey, Tad. Tad, I've got a box going out to you. I had to glue something on Georgia's car. When it came to me, there's a crack, and I had to get some UV glue, so hopefully it holds up. So let me know once it arrives. But it's a test car, and 2 lines approved. It's a great car. You'll enjoy it. So since you're just in Indiana, you should have it in a day or so. What's else? Yeah, we got a lot. Hey, Bruce. Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining. Holland Slot Car Racing, welcome. I'm looking for questions. Lots of hellos out there. That's great. Yeah, that's what I enjoy about Tuesdays. So we talked about the guys from Spirit of America. You talk about committed, man. These guys are committed. A few of them have picked up some practice track just so they can get an idea of the tuning, making sure that they're tuning these cars to the Polycar track. This is a big deal for them. So I wish them the best. It's gonna be fun. Let's see, what else do we have? Hey Dennis, thanks. John, actually, that was on my list to talk about. I am super excited about that because we all know. I mean, let me pull out a fly car here. So here's my Evo 2 fly. And this is a really good fly car. But it's still, I mean, that's the chassis. There's not a lot to it. It doesn't have a motor pod. It's inline. And this performs well. This fly car performs. My best fly car is my Flunder. This car runs really, really good. It has a slot invasion guide, which I recommend on the fly cars. That is a really good guide for that. But I'm not running the rear screw in that. And this car runs fantastic. It is my fastest fly car, and this is right next to it. But I'm thinking, like, this is all aluminum wheels. This is Fly's upgrade, really. This car runs really good. It's such an easy car to drive. And the collaboration with Scaleauto, when you look at the chassis, what I'm seeing is Fly bodies and the detail of Fly bodies, which are just absolutely fantastic. And a Scaleauto style chassis. Yeah, that's going to be a fun collaboration. And maybe we'll get lucky and it's not just a one-time thing. Maybe there will be some Fly cars that are special editions that come out with that chassis. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about that, John. I'm right there with you, man. Michael Squire, good to have you. Thanks for joining. I'm guessing Fly to make bodies and Scaleauto to make chassis. Jerry, that's what it looks like based on the pictures. I think that's a pretty exciting collaboration. Joseph asked me what silicone tires I'm running on my Lola, and I'm running 1403s. Super Tire 1403s is what I have. And that's the normal tire that we run on the vintage class cars from NSR. So there's a lot of cars that run that 1403 tire. You can go 1402. It puts the chassis pretty much dragging the track, though. The 1403 is a little wider tire, and so I kind of like that. Yeah. So that's the tire I'm running on the Lola. I've actually got the Lola breaking in over there. I'll go grab it here in a little bit when I talk about what I did. Don't like the Lola? No need to knock it. Everyone is free to vote with their wallet. Exactly. And I'm not hearing much complaints about this car. That's what I'm enjoying that. Like, it's good for NSR. I'm glad that car is going to be a huge success for them. the 908 is still competitive. I still think you're still going to see a lot of the 908s at the Nationals races. I know they want that Lola to be the winner, but the 908 is still stinking good. I mean, it is still a great, great car. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. Yeah, HSF, Jim's video with his gearing setup, it does sound interesting. I think that that gearing change, he got some performance out of it. Jim is on a lot of wood tracks. I don't know how that will translate to plastic, but I don't tend to. I mean, I probably should start messing with gearing. I don't tend to move too far away from the stock gearing most of the time because it works so well on my layout. I've not seen a need to do a lot of gear changing. The car that I ran at the Nationals, I ran the stock gearing, and maybe that hurt me. I don't know, but I feel like the stock gearing is really just a great all around gear. So, but maybe that's why I don't win many races. Greg says you need to do a green livery and make Rexy with the Lola. I had thought about that, Greg. I'd thought about doing another Roxy because it came with pink, but the pink is pretty light. Actually, the pink is really close to a pink pig livery color in these test cars. And so I thought about that, maybe doing a pink pig in the Lola. So it would be cool to be able to find some stickers for that, some decals. Daniel, when you order a second Lola is a more appropriate question. I actually have one of the liveried pre-ordered, one of the yellows, the long tails. I probably should have ordered one of the red ones, the short tails, just to see if there was a difference. But we'll see. I really like the yellow. Hey, Hank. Actually, no, I did order one of the red because it was a short tail. Yeah. What else? Yeah, Kerry says he loves his Lolas. Hank is still waiting for his Lola. Hey, Mike G. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Steve, you got yours from Slot Car Corner. That's awesome. You really like them. They're going to be good ones, man. Paul says his arrives Thursday. Excellent. I've seen a perfect car, but it's not mine. Hanola asks, how is the Lola compared to the Mosley? I'm guessing you meant Mosler. They're just two completely different cars. I'm not sure it's fair to compare them, but the Lola's performance is not far off of the Mosler. But typically, if the Mosler is allowed to run in a GT class, everyone runs it. That's how good the Mosler is. It's just got the right track, the right width. It is just it's a great car. It's a really, really good slot car. Much better than the real Moslers were on track, I think. But yeah, I mean, see, it's hard for me to compare my I only have one Mosler, and it's the 10th anniversary version, and it is set up. It's like my only magnet car that's not a Carrera car. I've got a button magnet in it, and it's one of those that you just run a few laps around to remember what it's like to run magnets. Because I don't run that car very often because it's in great shape. it screams. It's got the 25K in it. I got you on while building a 132nd layout on slightly bigger table. Bryce, I've been watching. That's cool that you're adding to your table, increasing the size of your layout. You'll enjoy it. I've run good laps with my Lola with 4 gram in the rear spot of the pod. I need to test other positions. Daniel, that's where I started, with 4 grams in the rear pod, or the rear spot in the pod right next to the motor. And I felt like I was still a little tail happy. So I moved it forward to the front, and it corrected some of that, but I felt like it, I don't know. I'm still running like similar lap times. So I don't know. I still need to keep playing with it. They only had a few white left, and that's all, folks. Hey, Vin. When the Lola breaks the track record, it's perfect. Marco told me, no problem. Great. Yeah, I saw where you broke. Well, the DS controller seems to be working really well for you too. Chris says, agreed, Marty. It's much quieter than the 9083. I do have both a mindset with differently to figure balance and handling on my layout. Yeah, Chris. Hey, Doug. I agree. They are two different cars. That's the beauty of it, and they both perform really, really well. I think that my Lola is about a tenth faster than my 908 in a stock configuration, and so that's what I'm running. So, hey, DW Barker, thanks for joining. Hey, Shane. Hey, y'all can't talk at work. Thanks for tuning in, Shane. Hope you're having a good week, man. Been thinking about you guys over there across the pond. It's been a tough week. I guess this is as good a time as any. Just wanted to say how sorry I was to hear the news about Pat, and I'm just really proud of the community and the support that hopefully Pat's family feels and his friends over there in Australia feel. It's tough to lose a loved one, and the slot car community lost a good one. Pat's a great guy, and like, what do you say that hasn't already been said? And don't really have words that help, but I do know and believe with all my heart that Pat is in a better place, and that he would not trade where he is right now and what he is getting to see and be a part of for any amount of time back here, even with his loved ones. And that's kind of a hard and weird thing to say. I understand that, but I believe that. I believe he was like, yeah, that was good, but where I'm at now is better. So, but I didn't do a tribute to Pat. I felt like so many people were putting great tributes out there, and I felt like Pat was deserving of it all, and it was just great to see those things and the kind words that people had to say. So, Pat, we love you and we'll miss you, buddy, and Godspeed. Yeah. This week in the mail on Saturday, shout out to James. when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh my, Steve, that's nice. I got this, and this is a Group C slotted in an Ohio State Buckeye National Championship livery. How great is that? So big shout out to James for sending that out. The other thing is this is easily my fastest Group C car. But this thing looks awesome. It's got the Blocko there. Somebody questioned what kind of leaves those are. Those are Buckeye leaves. Those are Buckeye leaves. 9 for the 9 national championships that they have. OHIO on the side. The Ohio on the nose. Ohio State. This is awesome. Fantastic. So, man, thanks for this. This is awesome. I'll probably run a few laps here in a little bit around the track with it. It gets around pretty good. So that's one of the cool things that happened this week. What an awesome gesture. I really appreciate that. And go Bucks. Sorry for all my Michigan friends out there. You know I still love you guys. You had it last year. This year will be our year. And I'm sure somebody else will take over next year. Okay, I have glue. Might need it by the time I'm done with it. Tad, yeah, if you have some glue, you might look at it. It's right. It's the pillar just behind the driver on the driver's side, and you'll see it. I've got it glued up, and the UV glue. I think the kind that I have is it's not a resin based, and it just did not want to cure as fast as it should have. So hopefully it holds up, but if not, you might have to hit it again. But you're gonna have fun with that car. Hey Robert. Yeah. Robert, you're right. Sorry, guys. I don't know if anybody watched the racing coverage on Saturday and Sunday. But shout out to Carlos and Mark. They were the Electric Dreams guys. They were busy providing some amazing slot car racing coverage. And it's one of those things that I hope that other tracks like pay attention to. Coverage doesn't have to be at that level, I don't think, for people to enjoy it. But holy cow, it is just great coverage. A bunch of camera angles and commentary, and Mark did an awesome job. I don't know if he's tuned in tonight, but just amazing. He just has in-depth knowledge of the drivers that are all out there, and has great stories about each and every one of them and racing with them and kind of some of their history, which really helps. And we're making connections with some of those guys, but what a tight race. Ian, congratulations, Ian. Todd made you earn that one, buddy. The last couple races, I think you kind of cruised to victory. And this one was right up to the final heat, was very, very good. And those two, Todd and Ian, just had an amazing race. Interesting this time with no magnetic braid. I feel like there was way more offs than races that we've watched previously. And I'm not surprised by that. I honestly didn't think that the Magna braid had that much downforce. But based on the fact that everyone was coming out of the slot a couple times. Tells me that it did have a pretty big impact. The lap times were about a half a second slower, and the racing was more competitive, I think, from top to bottom. So fantastic. But congratulations to those guys. Now, on the new 8-lane track, they had some timing issues. The timing system kept crashing, and but they finally got it figured out. And that was a 4-hour endurance race with the Scaleauto, the 124 Scaleauto cars. And those things look absolutely stunning. The chassis design and the bodies, and they were running LMP cars, and they looked fantastic. And those cars got beat up in that 4-hour endurance race. Those cars are fast for 124 scale hard body cars. I know that those Womps are fast, and wing cars are super fast on those wood tracks. But it was impressive to see those Scaleauto 124 scale cars go as fast as they were. To me, they looked like they were 1/32 scale type of racing, which I thought was really entertaining and fun. They weren't so fast that you couldn't see them on the track on camera. I thought that was really, really good. So, yes, Robert, long answer, but the racing was fantastic to watch. And if anybody hasn't watched that, James, thanks, man. So you got an Ohio State race car. Must be nice. Yeah, I'm a lucky man. Go Bucks. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. That was very, very kind of you, man. What else do we have? I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walks like a woman but talks like a man. Hey, Todd. Good evening, man. Yeah, we've got a bunch of people in the stream tonight. Todd released a video earlier this evening, putting some Racetrack Scenics billboard together. That's fun. That'll look great on your layout, man. So the Racetrack Scenic stuff is great. I've got quite a few of their billboards. So good stuff. Gary had them live on the big screen while we were racing at Host Slot Racers. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, it was cool to see all the support. B2 question, when exactly is the race in Italy? It is the last weekend in May, first week in June, that weekend, I believe. You love your Scaleauto Cadillac? Yeah, the Cadillacs look really good. You need one of those Scaleauto chassis for your M1. Yeah, they look really good. Yeah, I ended up watching a lot of Saturday and most of the race on Sunday. I just kind of threw it on in my ears and worked around the house, and I didn't watch as much as I listened, which was kind of cool. Dave, good evening, man. It's late over there. Thanks for staying up. Dave had a great video over the weekend talking about LEDs. I told him, I said, I love it when his favorite videos are the ones that start off with a disclaimer. They're great. Hey, Oscar, it's all in the Slot Invasion Guide. Yep. Yes, I agree. My fly cars have the Slot Invasion Guide, and it's great. Bo, I don't fly slot cars, I race them. If you look, fly Scaleauto chassis, you have your choice of configurations. Yeah, I saw the picture that they posted. It was really good. Oscar, thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. I highly dislike plastic wheels. I've had some problems with fly plastic wheels, the rear wheels. I will say I am a fan of the of aluminum wheels. Also, Quick Slick CB42s. I do have a set of Super Tire 1404 tires coming. Yeah, the 1404s will fit too. Yeah, the CB35s. Trying to think. Yeah, on my C8, I'm running 1408s. No, 1407s. I don't have any Quick Slicks in front of me. I had a Lola in my cart, but decided to wait for liveries. DK Moon, the new liveries are going to be cool. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for them. Hopefully not too long. But this is going to be a popular car. Those test liveries will sell out. No doubt. Hey, Bob. Thanks for tuning in. Fly had previously released a few models that came with a spare chassis to fit the Avant slot pivot pods. That's cool. I've not seen any of those. I mean, I have like 10 or 11 Fly cars, but none of them have any fancy chassis. Hey, Big Oak. Thanks for joining. Been trying to avoid being here to stop buying cars, but bought some anyway. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Bob, running Lola in no mag class tomorrow night at THS. Fantastic. I'll be curious to see how you do. And I'll be curious to see how many other Lolas are racing tomorrow, Bob. 35 Salty, just wanted to say hi to everyone getting ready for a fishing trip. Enjoy your fishing trip. Dusty's is at the P.O. box. That's cool. That's good to hear, Dusty. So maybe you'll get it tomorrow. Remove the rear shirt. You have a short tail. The skirt. You have a short tail. Don't think there are two different molds. Yeah, I don't think so either. I saw somebody did that to theirs and made a short tail out of it. Hey, Dominga. Dominga, will you be racing tomorrow night at Dayton? I would love to make it over, but I don't think I'm going to make it over. Not tomorrow night. Got so much going on. Yeah, they're the same mold. Steve, the Moslers have a bad rep. They're like the pit bulls of slot cars. Oh, that's good. No Moslers allowed. Too fast. Well, I mean, they do get banned. If let's be honest. If NSRs allowed them in the GT class, everybody would have ran them at the Nationals in the GT class. But because they didn't allow them to run in the GT class, we had C7 Corvettes, we had C8 Corvettes, we had AMGs, we had Mercedes. We had the whole gamut of GT cars racing and competing. And from an NSR standpoint, that was good for Andrea to see all the cars he's created out there running. If they'd have said, okay, Moslers are allowed, 90% of the field would have been Moslers or more, maybe 100%. Because if you didn't have a Mosler, you probably weren't going to be able to compete. Now, I think the C8 the C8 Corvette is really, really close. It is a good jump. My Lola hooks and books with 4 grams in the front. The rear rubber is at 19 millimeters. Chris says he likes the middle position. The 908 with less weight, set wider. There you go. DK Moon, I don't have a 908, so I am planning to get a Lola. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. It's great. That's right, Eric. Everybody loved Pat. Good man. Thanks, Jim. I see I'm behind. Both of mine are measured at 21.35 and 21.41. Interesting. Hey, Dungeon Racer. You made it. Thanks for being here, man. Chris, that's right. To Biddle. Pat's preparing for his next adventure. We will all meet again one day. That's my belief. Paths cross again. Yeah. Yeah, it is, Dusty. It's awesome. It's even better in person. That's right. How many stickers on the driver's helmet? Yeah. How many Buckeye leaves does he have? How many sacks, tackles, touchdowns has he scored? Prayers for Pat. Thanks, Vin. Nothing wrong with the stop super grip rubber. Just a bit too tall. Yeah, I felt like that that as well. I mean, here's the stock tire, and when that came on the Lola, I thought, man, that is a really tall tire. Much taller than what comes on the 908. Hey, Tim. TNT. All people saying hello. Just been working outside in the shop in this awesome weather. Yeah, we had amazing weather today in Ohio, or at least in Chillicothe. Yeah, Jim, they did an awesome job. I watched both, and I really enjoyed the 124 scale racing. Yeah, Gary, I thought it was good too. Yeah, the coverage was awesome. What was cool is I'm in a couple different text groups, and a lot of people were watching it together and commenting, which made it fun, and the chat was fun. So, endurance racing is appealing to me. Daniel, endurance racing is difficult, man. I mean, staying focused for that extended period of time is tough. Jeff, agree, very fast for 124 hard bodies. Jeff, what I was noticing is, like, I had my headphones on and I could hear those cars crushing into the wall. Excuse me. And Mark was reacting. It's like, oh man, that was a hard hit. It's because they were going so fast. You talk about hammers. George talks about a hammer. Those cars were hammers, man. They were. Yeah, even the best in the world find themselves out of the slot. It's especially an endurance race, man. There's a long stints. They were running 10-minute heats. I know the 24-hour race, they run 42-minute heats or 43-minute heats, something like that. That's crazy. Disclaimer, Marty will like this video. That's right. Hey, John. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, let me grab it. So, we've talked enough about this car. So I I swapped the red pod out for the black pod. I'm using the 43. Gosh, do I have the numbers for the screws? No, I don't. 4836, 4838, I think, or 34s. So I'm running the big head brass screws in the pod and in the rear body. And then the smaller head I'm running on the front. I've got quite a bit of float in the body. I'm still kind of tuning and working on that, trying to decide how much is too much and how much is enough. The car's running really good right now. I didn't really run it with the red pod. I probably should have, but I had a black pod laying here. And so when I took it all apart, I have I'll just kind of walk through what I do, just my basics. I have a 1/8 inch drill bit that I go and I clean out the pod holes and the motor or the body mount holes so that they're free of any debris and I can get the movement that I want. I swapped out those screws for the brass screws. I did tune this to Andrea's specs. So the fronts are just off of the track. They're almost even with the bottom of the chassis. I'm still running the original guide. I'm finding that I'm kind of liking that guide. It stays in the slot pretty good, but it's really fast, and seems to work okay. I do have a wood guide, an NSR wood guide, to put in it, and that's the 4859. And but I've been running it with the standard stock guide and the original NSR braid. So you can see how I have my braid set up. And then you guys know that I run silicones on my track, and I've got Super Tire 1403s on the rear. And I'm running, as you can see, 4 grams in the front pod hole on the motor pod. Let's see if I can show you what kind of movement I have in the motor pod. I don't know if you can see it or not on camera. It's kind of hard to show. I'm running the front screw snug and then about 1 turn on the outside pod screws. And then I'm running 2 turns out on the front motor screw or body screw, and I'm about 1.5 turns on the rear. So I get a little bit of movement this way. You can see the pod move, but it kind of pivots on that front screw. I haven't tried tape yet. So my stock 908 runs, I can get down to about 6.9 on my track. And the Lola will run easy 6.9s. With clean tires, those first few laps, I think I run a few 6.8s with the Lola, and I've gotten down to 6.8 a couple times with my 908. So, but they're about 1/10 apart. Easy 7-second laps with the 908 gets down into the 6.9s pretty easy. But the Lola lives in the 6.9s and can get down in the 6.8s. So those are the numbers. I'll do a full-blown video on it eventually, but everybody's done videos on them, so no one really needs to see my Lola video. But it is a fun car to drive. Oh, and I did swap out the fronts. I did get the and the weight that I'm using is the PMTR 1801. Those are the 4 gram buttons. And then for fronts, I use the 5201s on the Lola front, which are pretty thin. And then I've got actually some of the zero grip 5200s. So I do have zero grips on the front. So that's what I'm looking at for my Lola. Again, that pink it's not too bright, but it is like the pink pig livery color pink, not the Roxy pink. So maybe we'll paint it. Maybe we'll do what Greg says. I do have green. Maybe we make it a Rexy and I paint it up that way. All right, back to the chat. A disclaimer tells me I'll learn something, but pay attention. I have Fly Sunred with an Avant chassis. Nice runner. I believe that. Those Avant slots are nice. They run really well. Mount Dunedin Raceway, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hey, Daryl Rogers. Good to have you, Daryl. Thanks for tuning in, man. What else? I'm waiting for Olga to come from France again. Slot R, what do you have on order, man? Slot R's getting ready to hit 4,000 subscribers. His wife has already got his 4,000 sub box there taunting him. So, hey, P&W, what's up? You made it. P&W, I want to hear about your wood track racing. It was good to see you get out and go to a commercial track. I'm excited to hear how it went and how much you enjoyed it, if you did enjoy it. And what is your plan moving forward? Are you going to keep going, or are you going to invest in some in a car or two and a controller for that? Dominga, I'm screen printing as you speak. There you go, Dominga. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. I had too much in my cart waiting for Lola livery allowed me to keep other stuff. Yeah, I get that. Hey, Daniel, I saw Marty conveniently left you out of the video in Illyria. I didn't mean to leave Daniel out. I think I've got some footage of Daniel actually racing his GT car in there. The McLaren was hot for the last NSR Enduro at Main Street Racing, Windsor, Vermont. Yeah, the McLaren's a good car. I personally think the C8 is a touch better, maybe. I really like my C8. Hey, Tim. Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. Yeah, with the cool, you had the Home Racing World shirt on. That's right. Did someone say enduro? I need to host a short enduro, like a 3-hour enduro here on the track. Now that this track layout is like this, I think it would be better to host something like that. Hey, David, rookie here, new to your site, Marty. Great stuff. I've been chasing slot cars for a while. David, thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for being here on Tuesday. You'll find that the chat is a pretty safe place to ask questions if you have questions. Um, everyone is safe, but we all get made fun of, so that's the beauty of it. Hope you enjoy. You'll fit it right in. But thanks for being here. We're all rookies at some point, right? Jim, endurance racing, 1 hour stint from 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. with an HO car. Never do it again. But I never say never. That's funny. I couldn't blame you, man. 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. with an HO car. Those things are insane. You guys are still waiting for the Lola. It hasn't released in Australia yet. Yeah, they'll be coming soon. That's right. That's good. Let's not get used to this yet. Edward says you like those guides on your career track. Edward, yes, the Oscars guides are fantastic. The slot invasion guides, they're fantastic on career track. You'll notice that most of my slot cars have them. Anyone thought of using springs cut in half as dampers for body float in between the chassis post and the car post with a screw running through the screw to keep it in place? I've never thought about that because I feel like that would still keep the body kind of tight, but it might be worth trying and see how it works. But like right now, there's a lot of body float. It seems to be the norm right now. The European guys are running tons of body float now, and I think that's the trend. It seems to be working. Cars are running fast laps, and the Deepwood guide for the NSR. See, we weren't allowed to run the slot invasion guide at the Nationals, which is why I have the NSR for that, just to make sure that I keep that car legal, because it could be, a car I use at the Nationals. If you own an NSR and run it on a career track, you should change the NSR guide to the slot invasion. It's let's see. I would agree. Here's my Mosler slot invasion guide. Car is crazy fast. The NSR brass hardware upgrade is worth the price of admission. The fine threads offer more precise adjustment. Completely agree, John. Even though I hate the flathead, it is pretty easy to see, when you make an adjustment, it's pretty easy to tell how far you turned it. So, but I feel like, getting in there if you're in a hurry, like if I was at a race, the flathead drives me a little crazy, but yeah, they're really, really good. Another screw that I really, really like, I do like the Slotting Plus, which is the same size as Thunder Slot. And it uses the same tool as the Thunder Slot. I do like their body screws, but I've not used them in a pod. But I really like them because they're a fine thread as well, and they do a really nice job. And it's really easy to adjust them with that thunder slot wrench, which is like a T6 or something like that. Hey, Patrick, I voted for car 4 in the concourse at the Electric Dreams meet. Nice. Run the pink. There you go. Dave, how's the Fast Lap Challenge coming along? Haven't heard you talk about it lately. Dave, I mentioned earlier, I have a timing issue with my red lane. The sensor died, or something in the wiring died, and I've got to take the wiring harness apart that I built. And so I have a bad connection, and so I'm not able to time in the red lane. And so until I get that fixed, and it's just me climbing underneath the table and going through it, I haven't recorded. So I've got like 5 cars to record those Fast Lap Challenge videos. So I've been running laps and testing cars and trying to run in some more rubber and urethane on the track to get a little better grip. So, yeah, we've been running laps on the oval, but I just haven't been able to record any of the Fast Lap Challenges, but I've got some coming. I'm going to get that fixed this week. So there's where we're at. What else do we have? Slot Evasion Guide is good, but it won't go around the tight corners on a Scaleauto track. But the NSR Wood Guide is fine. Must be a little long on the R1s for Scaleauto, maybe. What else do we have? John says it will with a bit of reshaping. I found a blue Lola while on this live. Nice, Eric. I think you'll like it, man. Richard Caldwell, what is the footprint on your track? I'm about to expand mine to 16 by 8 and thinking about layouts. Richard, this layout right here is 24 feet by 8 foot with about a 6-inch overhang here and down there. So about 8'6" wide. So, yeah, 24 feet long. Now, for the longest time, we were 8 foot by 16. You can do a lot of fun layouts in an 16 by 8 layout table. So you're in good shape there. Steve, I'm not sure who makes a purple guide for Legends. Yeah, the Slotting Plus guide I could see. That's a guide that Daryl likes to use too. It would be great on Scaleauto. Hey, Timothy, welcome. Glad you're here, man. Marty, spoke with Steve from Slot Car Corner today, was telling me that the pink Lola sold out first. Most folks prefer the white car for painting and decals. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think the pink is a fun color, so I think that it was quick to sell. Steve's a great guy too. The trick for the brass NSR hardware is finding the right driver blade. Yeah, you got to go pretty small. The one I use is a 2.5. So, and it works really well, the 2.5. And 3mm flat head is perfect. I have one from RC Days. Need to find a smaller one. Let's see what else. Yeah, as long as it fits snugly in the head, it's good. Timothy Wood, 2 to 3 power jumpers on your track, Marty. Tim, I have 3. And I thought that I might need a 4th, but now that we've run some laps on it, 3 seems to be pretty good. Like the rule of thumb is about every 10 meters, this track. So about every 30 feet, 33 feet, you should have a jumper. And so being the fact that this is 95 feet in the outside lane, 3 seem to work really well. Haven't had any problems. Robert, my track is Carrera. It is a Carrera digital and analog. I've got an Axle Box Ultra 4 that Alex built for me, and I can switch between digital and analog, but I will tell you that with all of the racing that we've been doing, we do not do much digital racing anymore. I get guys that are upset with me that I don't race enough digital, but we're always testing and tuning our analog cars to take to the track, and so we don't run it in digital very often. But it's nice to be able to do that. Patrick was working on a 944 last week. Well, that's a pretty good excuse to miss, Patrick. You're forgiven, man. So we talked about the Lola. We've talked about the James sent me the Buckeyes car. I'm pretty excited about that. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was we had George and Dave on last week, and in the mail yesterday, I got this from George, and this is one of the kits that all of you guys are wanting. And so we've got the 55 Chevy. So John Mark, we'll have to build the 55 for you, and then I've got the Dart kit. And guys, we talked a lot about them last week, and I'm gonna just open this one up, just so you guys can see. These kits are going to be fantastic. So now I've got a slot car order that I'm working on, so that I can get all the pieces, parts that I need. I've got most of what I need, I think. But so you guys know that Dave has been working on, these guys have been working on the bodies. So we're going to look at the Dart body. So resin printed body. This body is super clean, guys. I mean, it really is fantastic. But I think this is the brilliant key to the whole thing. Doing the interiors for me in scratch building is not a lot of fun. I'll just admit it. It's not my favorite part. I do it because we have to. But I really don't love it. And then look at that. That is a tray. All I have to do is paint that baby up, drop it in here, attach it to the chassis. So here's the chassis and motor pod that they've designed and built that has the 3-post mounting holes. So then once you glue the interior in, mounting the body, it just all lines up. And it's perfect. And so what I'm going to do is, I know George has done a video on building these kits, and Shotgun Dave has, but I'm going to do one too. So I'm going to get the body painted up, and I'm going to get all the parts I need, and then I'm just going to do a video and build the slot car. I can't wait until they get everything finalized, guys, and you have the opportunity to order one of these kits. Super easy. I mean, look how well that that interior lays in there and works. Everything lines up perfect in there. The driver's where it's supposed to be. The roll bars are where they're supposed to be. And then you have a great performing chassis. Now, these are resin chassis. And I know George has been working on a chassis for that he's 3D printing with his new filament printer, because he thinks that might be stronger. But guys, I'm not sure that it's necessary. I really feel like this chassis and motor pod is solid. And I've done a bunch of test laps with the test car that's headed to TAD. And then George sent me another car to test. That's why TAD's getting his car moved on to him. These are great kits. They really are. I think they're going to be fun, and they're going to give you guys the opportunity to get some American muscle cars that at 1/32 scale we've not had in the hobby. And this is going to be fun. So I can't wait to get a chance to build these cars. John Mark, you can build this one if you want, but I have a feeling that you'll want me to build it for you. So you'll have to tell me what color you want it painted. And then we'll get them on the track so you guys can watch and see. Gave me an extra chassis there. And then he's got some, he sent me a bit for my Dremel. Nice. That must be for the resin. And then we got the wheel inserts as well that they've resin printed. So George, shout out to George and Shotgun Dave for sending those to me, to us. And then there was another one in there for Dusty. So we owe you guys big time. But cool stuff. Well done. I can't wait till you guys can order these. Hopefully you'll be able to get them from Slot Car Corner, and they'll make it an easy kit for you to build. That's going to be fun. So I think lots of people are going to enjoy that. Tim says, how about paint the 55 orange Marty with white numbers, orange crate? It would look good in that color for sure. I do have some orange paint. George is in High Point. I must have missed some stuff. Dusty has the 57 Ford to build. It does look awesome, man. John Albright says, the right tools for the right job. Exactly. The PLA chassis is on the way. Soon to you, Marty. I got the notice. Yeah, thanks, man. George keeps sending me stuff. I feel like I've got a pretty big outstanding bill with George right now. Hey, George, is there any way to get a 55 without a chrome trim on the side? No one makes a 150, even in die cast. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, you would want to build one like your 55, right? And it's a 150. I thought they were 510s. Maybe that's 57. Jeff G, yes, precision filament is a must. As a watchmaker, I own a special tool to achieve sizing your blade tips. I jumped to the end. I missed some stuff here. Let me go back. Make sure I didn't miss any questions. 62.5 here, 3 jumpers. Yeah. You could probably get away with 2 at 62.5, but the extra is not a problem. Makes your power super clean. And I don't know what kind of drop off you get in scaly track. My Carrera, with this layout, the connections are all really good and tight for the most part. So I feel like we're really getting good power everywhere. Oh, Steve says there are a few white Lolas still left on the Slot Car Corner website. Yeah, I noticed that today. Track is hardwired with 14 gauge throughout. That's what size wire I'm using as well, John. American Graffiti. There you go. So, John Mark, that means you want it painted black. What else we have? Shotgun did an awesome job on the interior. Yeah, Matt, he did. They look great. They really do look great. 55 is one without the chrome trim. That 55 is one without the gold. There you go. Without the chrome trim. Very nice. George was already on it. No chrome. I have a 57. Yeah, okay, I saw that. Most molds included. I didn't see it when Marty held it up. Yeah, here. Hang on. Let me take the tape off so you can get a good look at it. What time is it? 9:21. Wow. I want to run a couple laps with my Buckeyes car so James can see it on the track. Okay. Close up of the 55. Hey, look how good that body looks, man. The print quality is phenomenal. It's got some flex to it. It's not super brittle. And George did an awesome job printing that. So hopefully that was a good look at it. I can send you pictures too if you'd want to see them. Paint by Greer, Air 51. Where in North Carolina are you? Okay, gotcha. Looks like a car building party, Dusty. There we go. John Mark, come over. We'll get all the parts. We can all build them. Okay, where do I send my money? There you go. Gloss black, no chrome. There you go. John Mark has got his order in. Jim Rose seems to like the new DS controller. Vin, he does. He put out a really nice review of the DS controller today. If you haven't watched that video, Jim and I have talked a little bit about it. Jim, I should have thrown my 2-finger adapter in the box. I didn't even think about that. I could have sent you mine, and I could get another one from Josh. The trim packages were 150, 210. That was 210. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, and the Bel Air. Was that did that get you there? The close up of the body. Wouldn't the 150 have the pillar though? Because the Bel Air didn't have a pillar. That's a 57. I'm not sure about the 55. Good night, Hank. Thanks for tuning in, man. I've yet to find a voltage drop here either. Rail connections were cleaned and treated with deoxit gold during assembly. Nice job. I have no doubt, John Albright. I have no doubt that you did it right. Yeah, I took my time with this one. I'm pretty happy with how this design went together. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I do need to get the rails clean. I need to clean the rails. I get some buildup of just some grime. And I don't know if it's just because of the dust and stuff from here in this basement. So I need to get something to clean those rails. Chris is going to stick with his blue and orange Lolas. George is the 55 newer version than the first release. Dale Dean says, I'm enjoying the show tonight. Thanks, Dale. I'm glad you tuned in, man. Appreciate it. That's the smart way to get a good delivery. Anthony, Hey, Anthony, hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate you. George, I have the first version, and that 55 had chrome trim lines. Yeah, this does not have chrome trim lines. So, gosh, I made it to the bottom of the chat, 9:25. It took me the whole time. I'm going to go over to the other camera, and I'm going to run a few laps as we close out tonight. I'll run a few laps with the Lola, and then I want to run a few laps with the Group C, the Ohio State. And I probably should throw the microphone on, maybe, before I do that, as you guys are starting to sign off. I should change cameras. Track cam. Oh, track only. There we go. Oh. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. You guys should have me. The audio. So let's run the Group C car using the DS controller. Do a little quick cleaning, and see how she runs. Oh, look at that! Out of the slot. Oh, wow. Sorry, guys. There we go. Get through those S's. Dang. All right. So 747. I'll try to stay in the slot a little better. So the next thing that this car needs is a light kit. I love to put light kits in my Group C cars. I've got my Nissan and my Hexcel. And so I need to order another light kit and put it in this car. It deserves it. And it's a great runner. So 7 4s, 7 3s, kind of a cold track. So I think I can get down to 7 2s pretty easy with this car. There you go, James. Hope you're still watching. There's your car making some laps. Ah, good car. That's fun. All right. Yeah, 7 4, 7 4, 7 6, 7 5. All right. So now let's run a few with the Lola before we call it the night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation tonight. Oh, wow. Let's make a controller adjustment here. Two different types of cars. There we go. Yeah, this car is a really good car. So cold track, I'm running 6 9s. Pretty easy. There's a another 6 9. Let's see if we can get into the 6 8s here. Have a feeling, yeah, if I clean Get the lane clean. Yeah, I don't know if that weight in the front is better than the weight towards the rear. I think my Carrera track might like that weight a little further back. I don't know, there it went through the S's pretty good. Okay, 6.9s. Yep, come out. Just trying to push it. So a bunch of 6.9s and some 7.0s. Yeah, that's really, really good. If I compare that to my 908, I'll run a few laps with the 908 here. Let's see. This is my stock 908. And this car is really, really good. There's 6.8 with the 908. Six-9 pretty easy. They really are very similar, these two cars. So yeah, I just rolled off a bunch of 6.9s with the 908. That car is a little quicker tonight than the Lola. Okay. Boy, the Lola is just so smooth. Yeah, I think I'm going to move that weight back. I think I've lost a little speed in the S turns with it. So here's the thing, guys. I've got 3 more driver stations. You guys need to come over and visit. So, all right, we're gonna call it a night. Thanks for tuning in. Let me see if I missed anything in the chat while I was racing. Doesn't look like it. Excellent show. Thanks, James. Car runs great. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for sending that to me. Yeah, Michael, both are very, very smooth, very quick. I think still got a little bit of tuning left. I think I'm leaving some time on the track and through the S turns, so I need to do some more tuning on the Lola. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you, and hope you have a good week. It's 9:34. We're going to call it good. So, guys, have a great week, and don't forget, go have some fun racing.